Well, it seems as though everyone is starting to realize that the world really has changed. Given the comments made by our prime minister in Davos a week or so ago, we're now getting to the point where the whole world has come to recognize that what we're dealing with is, in fact, a rupture and that the world order as we have come to know it has changed. I wrote about that in an article in the Globe and Mail on Monday, talking about how the industry's excessive optimism can be a risk and how we need to recognize in our portfolios what seems to be recognized already from politicians, which is that the world has changed. The House of Commons is now back in session, and we have some news about how things are starting to change with regard to ideas that are being put forward by the government to take into account the fact that things are in fact different. One of the things that's being announced is the Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit. This is designed to help Canadians, especially lower income Canadians, deal with the problem of affordability, which is something that is part and parcel with the new world order and the way things have changed. It features a 25% increase in the GST credit for up to 5 years, which is indexed to inflation, and a one-time benefit of 50% in 2026. So all in all, this will help lower income Canadians put more money in their jeans. It will actually get a family of four to save about $800, give or take, in this coming year and further savings in future years. So the idea here is the government is recognizing that times are going to be difficult going ahead because of the way the world has changed. Now, that's the headline that people will be talking about primarily, but there are other things that are buried in the announcement from the government this week that are also worth noting. First off, there's money being spent by the government to shore up supply chains because supply chains get gummed up when trade routes are changed and when trading partners have to be reconfigured. So we have a recognition that that is going to be changing, and the government is going to be putting some money toward that. There's also now going to be some direction going to the Competition Bureau to deal with shrinkflation. One of the problems that we have is that people who manufacture products, goods and services, especially groceries, won't change the price. They'll just make the portion smaller. And if you're not paying attention, you won't realize, and that's called shrinkflation. All told, we have a world that is changing. And we now have a government that is accepting that this is changing, not only in political terms, but in terms of the pocketbook considerations that ordinary Canadians have to go through. This is good news that Canadians are actually getting a chance to move ahead because the government has their back and is trying to help them think about things. And I would ask you to think about your portfolio as a result as well. Have you thought about your portfolio as you make better wealth decisions in the context of a new world order, of a world that has changed? Are there things that you can be doing to consider your risk, your return profile, and how your portfolio is constructed to take into account this new reality? My concern is that for most people, the answer is no. And in my view, you should automatically be considering the way things change whenever things do change as a matter of course, because that's the only practical way to deal with the world as it evolves. This has been Weekly Wealth Update, a Make Better Wealth Decisions podcast dedicated to explaining how current events impact your portfolio and the wealth decisions you make. Tune in for commentary on how the news of the week affects your portfolio and your thinking.